Greetings. Welcome to nice broadcast. Great. Project Blue Book, MK Ultra, and Wright-Patterson, whatever, how to pronounce that. Patterson was just called Patterson Air Force Base, real Area 51. Which I wasn't aware of. I don't look that deeply into this stuff. About, I guess, the Roswell crashes. The aliens that were there were brought to Patterson Air Force Base. What a surprise! So, yeah, I don't look that deep into this stuff, but nice. But we're going to tap into it. I'm going to be breathing tomorrow. Will be another story. And Project Blue Book is basically at least their investigation, but also cover up what's going on here. So we're going into the meat of. We'll see where we get with that. Doesn't mean they're going to go into too much detail. Obviously, we'll get an unpleasant visit, as I've had in the past with Project Montauk. So, all right, we'll see where we're heading for. So, might as well, right? Arizona.com, right? Private sessions. Shop here. Forget where I'm at. I mean, for some people, I'm still in July, on the 31st or the 30th. For others, I think I'm on the 2nd of August. Same situation here. The webinar, social network. So, okay. Go where most people won't go ever. So, I'm not sure we're going to get out of any of this because MK Ultra. I mean, we pretty much live in an MK Ultra reality. So, the Project Blue Book, I got the energy of Project Blue Beam, but I couldn't find anything on that. At least as far as I know, I couldn't find anything. So, at least before this, I couldn't find it. Maybe there's something out there. I'm pretty sure there is, but I can't think of it at this time. So, all right. Yeah, those have the I can't remember it. The holographic aliens. I can't remember what that's called, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're going to brought Project Blue Book. They even made a TV show of Project Blue Book, so they are allowed to. But they're fictionalizing it, but also they're trying to put it out into the public eventually, maybe 30 years from now or 100 years. I don't know what's going on with this. Oh yeah, the future. Well, of course, Afghanistan. So a little bit of an update. So Afghanistan seems to be what was going to happen in the middle of the month. I'm not sure if anything's going to really happen beyond that. Just to be Afghanistan, just going to ride that wave for a while, at least for the next 2 weeks. I do feel September, but I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen in December. Who knows? Obviously, something always happens, but this whole Afghan thing is pretty big. Even if it's just a bunch of, shadow government nonsense. I mean, just theater really comes down to it. You take one shadow government agency, you get rid of. It just gives them. I mean, they got to get a news agency something to do. So they keep the theater going. So, about it. Of course, it's like look at this hand, what this hand's doing, and the left hand is doing. Who knows what else? What they don't want you to see. I do feel the Clintons. I'm not sure what's going on with them right now. Of course, they're involved with this sort of in some form or another with the Afghanistan situation, but maybe they're cloning each other and having a cloning party. So, okay, all right, we're going to Project Blue Book. I'm not sure how much is going to come of that. And then we'll go to the MK Ultra. That should be more of the meat of this. And then Patterson Air Force Base. Greetings to you. We are, you say, an unknown species, not to give out our name, where your government is being helped to where they are today. Your your secret space program from other realms and realities do manifest technologies into this realm. It also manifests other alien beings that do visit you that come from actually other galaxies. Like you can have aliens that are just traveling, minding their own business, and they get teleported here. And they don't know how that happened. It happens quite often, actually. It's not always recorded, but it does happen times to time. I mean, you're wondering what the aliens are doing here. They're wondering themselves. For Project Blue Book, well, it's to help you map yourself out of your, but basically for you to go into your future of connecting with the universe, and you have to start somewhere. It's like the barnyard of alien disclosure. Keep it primitive, keep it from the public, but of course, allow some details to be made into your reality. Well, because it helps you manifest it if you want more. So you have alien visitation and then a cover up, and then it's up to humanity if you want to manifest it into your reality where you actually see much more that's going on. There's a transition you're going through where the third dimension is being, yes, helps in the behind the scenes for you to, yes, there's a health situation going on, but actually health is being, in fact, I mean, it is actually advancing itself, but not in the way that you might think. Alternative medicines, yes, but also mainstream medicine will have to even change their whole identity eventually, but now's not the time just yet. Well, mainstream medical will become more alternative. They'll mix the two. Of course, yes, there'll be a level of corruption because the elites that are running your world, of course, they feel like humans are just not ready to run their own planet. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but there's so much to do with that. The alien beings that crashed on Roswell, and of course, there's others. Um, you can say it was just done by design, but also to assist you and to know yourselves on a different level, what's necessary. Some of you, this whole alien disclosure is actually advancing yourselves privately, and that's the point of it. Now, you're not going to have the answers, not likely. Wills, if humanity truly wanted to know what was happening here, you would know by now. Deeper, you would actually interact with the beings themselves and be part of society. But because humans are still wary of the whole idea, not just through manipulation, but just humans just aren't ready. They're holding back. Of course, some might see it differently, but from our point of view, they can't have an alien and cook their dinner at the same time, or go to the movies, or whatever it might be with an alien visitation, or understand the alien being. This just freaks people out too much. Now, some of you would just think it's the greatest thing I've ever seen because you've been part of those worlds. Some of you actually been alien beings that have been part of first contact, or second contact, or third contact, whatever it might be. So those that are eager for contact, most likely you've had some interaction. Either you've been a human connected to aliens, or an alien being connected to humans. Of course, some would get so caught up in that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just difficult. Because this world's going too slow. Some of you that are going so fast. But fast doesn't mean slow growth. Some are trying to bypass their growth. With Blue Book, a lot of souls learn too much too fast. Those in the army and are still going through trauma of connected to alien beings. course, there are generals, 5-star generals, that are not going to be mentioned here, that were very open to this connection. But it's basically, now they're allowing this detail to be known because they don't want to cover this up forever. They want humans to uncover it, but they also have to have their own experiences. So do you see a massive amount of alien visitations in your next few years? Of course, it all depends. Humans still can change their timeline, but many want it and many will have it when the time comes. For Blue Book's energy, yes, it's your government cover up. They tried to, yeah, they didn't want your president involved because the president can easily knock the whole project out of course, his control of everything can still cause difficulties. Greetings to you. We are the consciousness of MK Ultra. The idea is to take your mind and replace it with another one, thought by thought. Basically, you can say it's artificial intelligence, but a lot of it has to do with just human intervention. Humans don't trust other humans. So this MK Ultra has been going on for, yes, of course, for thousands of years. It just now it's getting a little more sophisticated where they can use it through billboards and everything pretty much. This is why sometimes TV shows or movies don't make any sense because it really doesn't matter because it's all about the brainwashing that's going with it. It's basically codes being embedded into the human. That's why you have all these bad movies or music that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, they're encoding you. At least some of you, maybe not all, to even send you to another planet possibly. Where you can be even more controlled. It all depends on your experience. Many of you are actually going to more of the angelic realms where you can breathe a little. Or, yes, even those that are going to angelic realms, you'll still bring your incarnation cycle here to help heal. Of course, that reminds us of course, your MK Ultras, which is talking about that, but also talk about the grandparents. How many of them do want their children to do well? And they themselves have a slight programming that's done to them. Agreed upon. But not everyone has that. Some just reduce it or remove the program altogether. So MK Ultra programs have been going on through your families for centuries, which also bring the timelines of your reality today. It is, yes, a soul healing of. It's basically humans giving. Well, they don't have a book of how to live life, so they trust themselves, but they're not always trusting the right beings that are around them. Yes, a soul journey within a soul journey. Your government that created these facilities, once again, was brought by the alien energies. Now, you can say from the secret space program, say it's from wherever it is. It did manifest it here. It's not going anywhere. It's also, MK Ultra is very embedded into space stations in realms that you're not aware of. Meaning that even the aliens that are helping you, even they have a form of manipulation going through them. As I've been seeing within your reality that clearly. It's just a unlocking you're doing of your planet, of seeing things differently. The MK Ultra vibration, sound, so it's going through everyone to a certain degree. That's why many do get sick very easily. Well, they reject the program and they leave. That's why some people suddenly die. Not always the case, but a lot of times it's the case. It's just, I don't want to be part of this anymore. And leave. Obviously, that's not always for everyone, but certain souls, certain missions. Also, the MK Ultras. Some of you humans, I feel like you have no connection to any of this at all. Some of you have incarnated that actually developed the technologies and to bring into fruition what it is now. Of course, you're not always connected to the darker side, but some are. But it's just basically how to get a society to move. So some worlds would want to move happily anywhere, but not all. So sometimes you have to have some kind of influence. Not exactly the most positive vibration, but it does work. So the MK Ultra energy, yes, of course, is connected to eons of planets. Of course, even storms, rainstorms, can cause a mind control on the planet itself because it implants information from it. So over time, you'll see this. It's not the easiest thing to heal nature, especially when you think it's positive all the time. It does have difficulties. It does have bad days, especially where the world is going today. But it does not mean you can't find happiness within itself. MK Ultra, once again, is there to turn the mind backwards, or to just add a loophole within the mind where it can't think properly, and the body starts to falter. MK Ultra victims, yes, are also known for cancer very quickly, depending on the person. And even, yes, Michael Jackson went through MK Ultra. It's another reason why for his decline. Of course, tapping his vibrations is not very simple. It is connected to the secret space program. That's another reason why it hasn't revealed itself. It's deep. Even for us, we can't go into full detail, but we will in the future, when permitted. Greetings, we are Patterson's Air Force Base. Well, of course, yes, there's a lot of secret projects. That's where a lot of your Illuminati energies began. At least the primitive side of it has gotten more sophisticated over time. Well, it's basically to see how naive humans are, and also to derail them as they even try to investigate. Congress is aware of it. Of course, they're not to go into details, but they are aware to some degree of what's happening. But they're also told to stand down to it. I mean, investigation most likely will be minimal from what we're seeing. For Patterson Air Force Base, it has a certain energy how it's connected to the way lines to give it authority, you can say, to connect to alien beings. Of course, alien beings are not always going to. Now, for you to go into more of a freer Earth scenario, the aliens have to stop fighting each other. That's another reason why you're in your situation. Of course, the Taliban situation is also a hijacking to make them even better in their manipulation. Eventually, this will come more clear to your society of how the alien war that's going on, you call it secret space program, call it whatever you want, of how much it's influencing society. It's a slow beat, but it is causing a lot of people to lose their memories. Like the more memories you lose, the more likely you are connected to this secret space program after all. I mean, they don't want you to remember anything for that matter. They rather just, I believe, just shave your heads and just program you that way. Well, the shaved head is just easier to deal with. You don't have your hair flopping around and you're wearing uniforms as they tell you. Yes, when you have to deal with hair, it makes it a lot more complicated when you're creating a controlled society. So some of you that have been feel like you have to be part of a certain way of thinking, certain way of acting. Most likely there's some kind of influence from the elitists in some form or another. Your Air Force base under at least your secret government, they have to start somewhere, and then they sophisticate themselves over time. We do see new technologies being brought into your world, probably mostly through the education system. At least that's what we're seeing at this time. Well, new technology, yeah, they're not saying how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. Staying home and all that, they're not going into details of that, but they're just trying to make the education system more efficient and technology-wise as you begin to transform yourselves into a different type of being. Eventually, it'll take out more of your school systems, of course, when the time is right. but not yet. And a lot of the indoctrination that's going on your planet is coming from the Pentagon of how the human thinks, sleeps, and they have certain categories how they want people to go. So there are, yes, main timelines. Who's controlling the main timeline? Where your Pentagon is very much involved with it. They don't call it a Pentagon for nothing. So when you connect to the energies of the timelines, you can see that the Pentagon in the United States and see what it's doing. But we can tap into that in a second. Quote, yes, buses. Greetings. We are your main timeline. Yes, there's a lot of hardship, of course. Well, there are beings here that don't want you to know your power. They don't know what you are. They want humans to feel like they're insects. They don't matter. They want to take their free will away from all humans. Who is they and they is who? They're not going to go into details. But the remote view of the alien presence here, much of the alien presence is within the Pentagon itself. You can say a lot of Galactic, your secret space program, is very integrated into it, obviously. What are those people going through? Your Biden, yes, is losing his energy. We don't see him replacing him anytime soon, but they are been thinking about it more. The chatter is getting stronger and stronger to remove somebody like that out of office because the manipulation has been doing, but of course, it's not working as well as they thought. You're once again the alien connections here for a remote view with the Pentagon energy fields. There is this. Well, the alien energies, of course, cloak themselves, as many of you know, more in the fourth dimension. But the fourth dimension has they injured. Now you can take this however you want. Therefore, the fourth dimension connected to this world has been injured due to all the galactic manipulations, like blowing it up, not entirely, but really causing a major gap into it. So it's difficult for people to heal, connect, and stay blocked. There are other planets that are being attacked also, of course. There's no way to prove any of this. To basically to block some of you. On other worlds, it affects them and it affects you that you're here. Meaning that alien beings can find your home planets that you're incarnated from and cause difficulties there. So a little bit of you is everywhere, especially where you incarnated from for the first time, at least in this now moment. So the timeline energies that are happening here connected to your Pentagon. Of course, your chief of staff of your latest part of your Pentagon, where the chief of staff has been hijacked. Even many of your government entities will start to morph and change over time. Basically, Washington is in decline itself. It knows it. It's just making it all look friendly until the decline fully occurs. That won't be for a full couple of years. There's also a lot of Native American energies connected to your timelines, because many of you are healing from those vibrations. Even your Washington, D.C., no matter what, it's still a lot of Native American energies. Of course, Washington brought their own problems, obviously, through reptilian energies and so forth. But the Native American energies are still working. It just, they're working through the human, they kind of got forced into the human experience of what you're living now. Of course, many could have died, but many chose to live to experience it to the best of their ability. But there is a decline, well, not necessarily. Decline all the way through the United States. The world is no longer wants to be the way it is. It wants to change. It wants to shop and get new clothes. So that's what you're seeing. So basically, many will find new skills is what we see. Your Patterson Air Force Base, of course, it had the right technologies for an alien visitation. It was just at the right place at the right time. No, Big surprise, current, right? Your timelines are, yes, created much from your Pentagon. There's other government agencies, but nothing like your Pentagon. So a lot of the governments blend into the Pentagon, and where the Pentagon does manipulations, usually on a Friday or Saturday night. They're not going to make themselves too clear on that. We are going into a more of a phase of remote viewing these places, especially the Air Force Base. To a certain extent, it's very protected, but also some of these places are easier to see than your Area 51. But there are reptilians as in human form in that Air Force Base. Of course, you're not going to notice it for the most part. But anyway, a lot of them are captains. That's all we can say. The aliens that are there, they're not going into details for obvious reasons. But it's a little, some need that physical alien for their awakening. Some need a spiritual connection. Some need that physical alien, at least a picture, at least get you used to the idea that they're here. Of course, some of you are going through trauma from past lives dealing with alien contact, and it didn't always go so well. So that's why some of you are just like, I'm not dealing with that again. That's not for everybody. That is for a certain portion of your